Alright, this will be the final demo of virtual service and destination rule, and it will be simpler also, but a little different. Now let's say what we are trying to do here. We have a service. Let's say the name of the service is AB-SVC, and all traffic come here. And this service has currently a deployment running with 3 pods. So far, we have been running only 1 pod, but that is fine. Now the concern here is that I want to implement or introduce a new version with label v2, which has a new feature. Or let's say we're doing an A/B testing wherein you want to see both the versions, and whichever version performs better, you want to implement that version. And you want some amount of traffic to be diverted to version 2 also, along with version 1. Now again, it's the same service. Both these pods with different version IDs should be in the same service. Now in case of canary, what would you do is you'll divert only 10% of the traffic to v2 and remaining 90% to v1. Once you are satisfied with v2, we'll increase the percentage of traffic in v2. So from 10 it should go to 30 or 50, so on and so forth. Then eventually it will become 100 and this will be 0, and then you delete it. But in case of A/B testing, typically it would be 50-50 traffic. So 50% of the traffic should come here and remaining 50% of the traffic should go here, because you are comparing two different versions of the same product and they should be released at the same time. Now, how do you achieve this? Now, the trick here is in the deployments, or how do you create service rather than in virtual service and DR. So this is how I would label the deployments for this particular service. These pods, or the deployment in these pods, will be labeled with chapter istio, topic, traffic management, and app as AB version v1. And deployment of this pod will be labeled as chapter istio, topic, traffic management, and app AB. Finally, version is v2. But while creating this service, I'll mention the selector to be only chapter istio, topic, traffic management, and app would be version AP, which is common in both the deployments. So what will happen here is that this service will be created with two separate deployments. So if you remember, I told you earlier that when you create application pods in an istio, you should always mention version. So this is where it is very much useful. So the service would have two different deployments, but while creating the destination rules and virtual service, then only will use the version label. So let us go ahead and see the service and deployment first. This is the deployment and the service. So this is the first deployment, AB1, and in the pods I have 4 labels: chapter istio, topic, traffic management, app is AB, and version is v1, and it is getting an image AB:v1 from my GitHub repository. Remaining things are pretty straightforward. Same is the case here also. This is the second deployment, but here the labels are chapter istio, topic is same, app is also same, but version is v2, and the image is also different, which is ABV2. Now let's see how the service is created. Now this is how the service is created. Now in service, in the selector, I have not mentioned the version. So all the pods from these two deployments, ABDEPL1 and ABDEPL2, would be part of this service. So I have created this service AB-service. It has two different deployments. Let me show you that. If we do a curl with the cluster IP, first time I'm getting v2, second time I'm getting v1, then I'm getting v2, then again v1, so on and so forth. So it seems like two deployments are part of this service. Now the virtual service. Now the virtual service is pretty straightforward also. I have hosts. So in hosts, I'm mentioning AB service, and in HTTP route, while defining the routes, I have two destinations, but both of them have the same service. So the first destination, host of first destination is also AB-SVC, and the host of second destination is also AB-SVC. But in subset, I have mentioned v1 and v2 belonging to the same service. That's what it says. Now the destination rule would also be a little interesting here, because in the specification I have mentioned only one host, which is AB-SVC, that is the service, and I have two different subsets. The name of the first subset is v1, And see the label here, I have mentioned version in the label of subset V1. Version for subset V1 is V1 and version for subset V2 is V2. Remaining things are same as earlier, but this is what the difference is. While creating the service, we did not mention version, but while creating the destination rule, we are mentioning the version. So let us go ahead and create these destination rule and virtual service. So I have created only one virtual service and only one destination rule. And I provided some weightage also. So weight for subset V1 is 90 and weight for subset V2 is 10. So I'm showing you canary, but you can use AB also. So if you want to use this one as AB, you'll have to change the weight to 50-50. Anyway, so let us go ahead and get inside of a pod and test this one. So this is one of the pods. Now if I go inside and run this curl command, and I should see V1 more than V2. Might not be 90-10 completely, but you get the idea. The number of V1 is lot more than V2. So it seems like our canary is working. We could have done AB also 50-50. If we change it to 50-50, then the traffic distribution would change. Let us go ahead and do that once. So let me go ahead and change the weight to 50-50 as if we are doing an AB testing. And let us apply the file again. Now try this out. It should be kind of an uniform distribution. Not exactly, but more or less. So it is doing an uniform distribution. So V2 and V1 have almost similar number of occurrences, unlike the previous case where V1 had a lot more occurrence. So this is the final demo for virtual service and destination rule. So let us go ahead and proceed with the remaining objects for Istio.